Carl was very surprised. A book about pirates. Why would a pirate book have a picture of the watch? It didn't make sense. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's English reading practice. It's Tuesday, September 5th, 2023, and I'm thrilled to have you all here with me for this session. My name is Ferney Herrera. Today, we'll be exploring the first chapter, Chapter 1, The Legend.
Esta es una nueva manera de lernen, aprender, aprendere,
languages en cuanto disfruta,
accents,
alphabet,
culturen,
sonidos, regole gramaticali.
quickly and easily. Alors,
Pour y travailler.
et bienvenue à Linguista.
Chapter 1, The Legend. Carl was a watchmaker. He was in his 40s and single. His parents lived in London. He lived in the south of England. He lived alone in a small house on a quiet street in Penzance. Carl was a tall, thin man, but he was very strong. He had his own workshop. He fixed watches. He made his own high-quality watches. He often did other jobs as well. Carl worked very long hours. He usually worked late. His workshop was near Eastern Green Beach. At the end of the day, he often went to the bed to stretch his legs. One night, Carl met an old friend on his walk. Her name was Susan. Carl, how are you? She said. Hi, Susan. What are you doing here? I'm walking just like you. Susan laughed. I see. Well, let's walk together then. Carl and Susan walked for a long time. They talked about many things. They talked about their jobs and their families. They talked about everything in general. As they walked, Susan asked, "How's your job? Are you working a lot?" "Yes, I have a lot of work. I'm very happy." "Good for you, Carl." Susan was a security guard. She watched the boat near the beach. She told Carl she liked her job. She saw many interesting things on the beach. In fact, she had found something just today. Carl began. "Susan, I was actually hoping to see you." "Really?" replied Carl. "Yes, I found something and I don't know what to do with it." "What have you found, Susan?" Susan took out a watch. It looked very old. It was very good quality. "Can you tell me what kind of watch this is?" she asked. "Let me have a look," Carl said. Carl took the watch in his hand. He looked at it closely. "I have no idea what kind it is," he said at last. Susan was surprised. "Don't you know anything about it?" "Well, I know it's a watch, but it's very old. I'm just not sure." He paused and looked at her. "Do you have to go to work right now, Susan?" "No, I'm finished for the day. Let's go to my workshop. I have some books that might help us." Carl and Susan went to the Carl's workshop. The workshop was very old. Inside the workshop, there were many tools and watches. It was all part of Carl's job. Susan had never been to the workshop. She thought it was very interesting. "Wow," she said. "There's a lot of stuff in here." "Yes, I have a lot of work. I like what I do." "That's good, Carl." Carl told Susan to follow him. She put down the watch and walked into another room. There were a lot of books. They were very large and very old. It was impossible to read many of the names. "What are we doing here?" Susan asked. We're looking for information, answered Carl. Information about what? About what kind of watch this is. I've never seen anything like it before. Carl and Susan searched the books. After several minutes, Susan found something. It was in a book about the Caribbean Sea. Carl, look at this, she called. Carl closed his book and went to Susan. What is it? It's a picture of the watch, and it's in a book about pirates. Carl was very surprised. A book about pirates? Why would a pirate book have a picture of the watch? It didn't make sense. Susan explained. The name of the book is Caribbean Pirates. It's about England and pirates in the Caribbean Sea. I still don't understand. What about the watch? Listen, said Susan. According to the book, there was a famous pirate. His name was Eric el Kraken. He had a very particular type of watch. They say it had strange powers. Strange powers? What kind of strange powers? Asked Carl. People said that El Kraken could travel through time. Susan turned the page and continued. It says that the watch helped him time travel. Carl laughed and said, that's just a legend. A pirate who traveled through time and with a watch? That can't be true. Carl laughed. Just then, there was a noise in the workshop. What was that? Asked Carl. I don't know, replied Susan. Let's go and see. The two friends went back into the workshop. They looked around. The watch was gone. Somebody had stolen the watch. Carl cried. See, that watch is special. It's not a normal watch, said Susan. Then Carl noticed something else. The door to the workshop was open. Suddenly, he heard footsteps outside. They were running down the street. Carl looked at Susan and started to run. Let's go, he called back. Carl and Susan ran out of the workshop. They went towards the beach. When they reached it, there were footprints in the sand. Very deep and large footprints, like those of a very stout man. Suddenly, Susan stopped. She pointed to the large man in black. He was running down the beach. Look, Carl! There he is! She shouted. Carl ran after the man and shouted, Hey! Stop! Stop! Right now! The man ignored him and kept running. Again, Carl demanded, Stop! Stop right now! The man continued to ignore Carl, so Carl ran even faster. At last, he caught up with the man. Carl pushed him and they both fell over onto the sand. The man shouted loudly, You shall let me go. I have done nothing to you. This is my watch. Carl stood up. He took a moment to look at the man. He was quite a character. His clothes were not modern. They were very old-fashioned. They were a style worn hundreds of years ago. He also had a strange hairstyle. It was one from long ago. Carl and Susan watched the man. He slowly got up. He cleaned the sand from his clothes. He had the watch in his right hand. He looked at them suspiciously. What do you want? Why are you looking at me like that? He demanded. This stout man spoke with a very uncommon accent. His English sounded very strange. Carl looked at him and said, You stole my watch. You came into my workshop and took it. No, said the stout man. You stole it from me. I have only taken it back. It is mine. Carl and Susan looked at each other. Finally, Susan asked the stout man, Who are you? I'm Eric el Kraken. Now, please excuse me. I must go back to the 17th century. And that's it. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. What do you think of my reading? What do you think of the story? Feel free to share your feedback. Bye for now.
C'est fini. Merci.
Gracias.
Danke.
شكرا.
谢谢.
Evharisto.
And thanks for watching and listening to Lingosta.